are our applications. So Viana is connected to RDS database. So Elysium and Symfony, they are connected to Viana through private ELB. And we have one more job server. For example, if we need to execute any time-based jobs, so we'll have all those jobs in the job server. So the job server, it is not exposed to public. It will directly connected to the RDS database. And we have public ELBs on Elysium and Symfony. So only these two applications are open to public.
So only Elysium and Symfony public to internet.
Correct.
And Elysium is like our internal, so only our ops team will use it. Symfony is for the end users.
Okay.
So here we have deployment server. So here on the deployment server, we will check out all our source code, and we wrote our own script to make the deployments. From this server, we will make the deployments. This is a public bastion. So we will connect to all these servers through bastion.
It means like a jump box. We need to jump to bastion first, and we can connect to
Correct. Yes.
the other. Okay.
Correct. So, and moreover, he already explained Saltmaster. We're using to create user accounts.
Create account of Saltmaster.
Yes. So this is our overall production environment architecture. So you have any questions on this?
So on this diagram, we only have database instance Vienna. On the data and source will store in Vienna, right?
Correct. So to access each server, here we have the details. Production deployment deploy one. This is deploy server host. RDS details, bastion, and load balancer details, and backend applications. What?
Change the last serial for it.
Where?
Password.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll check it.
Since we are on it, just change it. We'll forget later. Also, we should update the diagram. Put a note there for TMS.
TMS is part of Symfony. We don't have separate server for that.
Yeah, but like there's nothing for TMS, right? I mean, depends.
For networking people, why? I mean, they just need to care about Symfony application.
So okay, so TMS
TMS is part of Symfony.
Okay.
So once we have a new API server, then we can include them. What is this? So this one is clear, right?
Yes. So we had the same diagram on staging.
Yeah, staging exactly same.
But on development environment is different.
Yes, correct. In development, if you see here, we have two backend servers. We have two Elysium servers, two Symfony servers. So in stage also we'll have the same environment, but in dev we will have only single server, and we don't have separate job server for development. Job server is part of, application server and job server, they are combined. So here we have staging VPC. Yeah, it is same. I think we don't have a diagram for a dev. It's very simple. So whenever we have releases, we will have the release nodes here. During the time of release, we will simply follow these nodes. So here, first we need to connect to the deployment server. Then we need to pull source code from NetApps and Deps and VNR repositories. We will go to them and I will explain what will be there in each repository. So NetApps, Deps, dependencies, and VNR. VNR is our backend server, and we will fetch the code and we will build it. Then we will go to Lois and Web Apps where we have the front end code, and we will check out the proper release branch, and we will build it without deployment. This cluster deploy, this is a script we wrote for the deployment process. So here we are checking out and building the applications, because next time when we build and copy them to the remote servers, it won't take much time. So first time the build, it will download all dependency modules and jar files, so it will take time. That's why before the release we will do this. Then we will disable monitorings. So during the deployment, for example, if it took around 5 minutes, generally we will complete the deployment less than 5 minutes. So during that time, to not have alerts from monitoring system, we created these rundeck jobs, enable maintenance on production. That means it will disable all production monitorings. This is for stage. Then we will take a backup. There also we have separate job for this. The backup will be stored in this folder on deployment server.
So backup just dump the database, right?
Yeah, just database. So once we took the backup, when we are ready to deploy, we'll go to backend application source code, and in the application we'll have this folder where we have all release related database upgrade script. So we'll execute it. First we'll update the database, cluster deploy. If we have any application server related changes, we will stop the server first and then restart it. So the stop, it will connect to all remote servers and it will simply stop them. Restart, it will copy the build files to the servers and it will restart them. This is for backend application. So we have single repository for both of front-end applications, and also we will use the same script to deploy both of them. This is for production, this is for stage. So before going to every release, we will prepare this, we will copy from previous plan, and if we need to make any changes, we'll update them. So after the maintenance, we have other rundeck jobs to activate the monitors again. and we will check all monitorings in JBix to make sure all monitorings are working fine or not. Then we are saving all our logs in SumoLogic. SumoLogic is a third-party server. We will install an agent in all our application, all our servers, all AWS instances. So that agent, it will push all the logs to SumoLogic server. Same as JBix. Yesterday we reviewed JBix agents, right? In the same way, we will have SumoLogic agents. I'm not exactly sure the location of that. Maybe we'll have some documentation here. We'll check it.
Okay.
So once deployment is done, we will monitor each application log. For some time, around 30 minutes, we'll monitor. If we have any major issues, major errors, we will quickly try to fix them. This is our release plan. You have any questions?
So we need to have plan first to review, and if everything okay, we start the release, right?
Correct.
What happens if there's like some disaster, like some really major issue? How do you roll it?
So if something happened,
Like something really major,
yeah, if it is really major, let's go to previous release
and then execute.
and do the same. So we have separate branches, right, for every
So we just like revert to the
revert to the
previous one.
previous branch.
Oh no! Wait.
And also, when we revert, when we go to previous release plan, we don't need to execute this database script.
Yeah,
So here we are taking a backup, right? We need to
so we
restore
restore
that.
them.
So right now we don't have a restore plan. Sometime back, Ramiro started working on it,
We
but
should add like a DR in that.
What?
We should add a DR where in the plan, right?
Where?
Like at the end of the plan, like DR, like disaster recovery plan.
yeah, we need to add. So he started to work on some script, but we stopped in the middle. So maybe we can complete it at some point of time. So far we don't have disasters. All our releases, they went well. If something happened right now, we need to
Revert to the previous.
we need to
release.
revert to the previous database manually.
Okay.
So any other questions?
It's okay now.
Okay. Production VPC, production implement, technical information. So here we have port description and log locations of the application. On each server, here we put the log locations. We can directly connect to that server, and we can go to this path, so we can see all application logs. These are for Vienna, these are for Elysium logs, these are for Symphony logs.
What's in the audit log?
Audit log, I'm not sure. I just checked the server and
Yeah, we always
access
check
log.
our access. Audit. I didn't know it exists.
So these are the logs. So our front-end applications, they are in Node. So this is our deployment structure. We're using Nginx web server with Passenger. and the application is Node. Uh,
So for the web server setup, it was done by your team or by Mauro?
it is not Moro. It was the previous guy. He was Carlos. Moro he started to managing, and if we need to make any changes, he used to do those changes.
Okay.
So here we have Nginx plus passenger configuration setup. So we need to take a look at them. I'm not sure how exactly it will work. Here we have all locations of the configuration files, log files.
So it's just a initial setup for a web server, right?
Correct. And from application side, so in the application, we have reload nginx.sh. So here we are checking nginx is running or not. If it is running, sorry, if it is not running, we are starting nginx with this command. If it is already running, we are reloading it. Then only when we reload it, then only it will take the latest source code, copy it to the these web servers. This file will be called from our deployment script. Got it?
So when we need to reload anything,
We do it every time. Every time we deploy, we reload it.
Yeah, whenever we release something, we will reload it.
okay, got it.
So I already created a Bitbucket access to you. You can take a look at our application repositories.
Okay.
So these are the repositories. Oviana, it is our backend application repository. Logis9 web apps, this is our front-end applications repository. Here we'll have both Elysium and Symfony. Logis9 depths, here we'll have all dependency files. For example, sometimes we need to have our own Maven configuration. Some jars they might be provided by our third-party partners, so we will not get them from public Maven repository. So we simulated the Maven repository, and here we can simply add these dependencies in our POM XML, in our application XML. So it will directly fetch these jar files. These are our partners, third-party partners. It will get those jar files, and it will. I mean, we don't need to do anything. We don't need to copy these jar files in application folder for all unit tests, build process, and deployments. Everything for everything, Maven will fetch them. Here, the node. We will not, in our production or stage servers, we will not install any Java or any node, any of them. We will maintain all the binaries in this repository. These are different versions. Right now we are on 10. So we'll have all the binaries here. So the application will set the path to this location. So whenever we execute node commands, they will point it to the given version from this folder, and they will be executed. Same with Java. So we will not install Java directly on any of the server. So we'll have binaries here. We'll set path to here. Next one is Wildfly. This is a free version of JBoss. We'll have all Wildfly binaries here. This is HTML to PDF. This is one of the free tools that we are using to convert web page into PDF document. It is used by our applications. So in the depths repository, we will have all Maven repositories and Java related binaries, Node related binaries, the application server binaries. We will have everything here. Next one is a NetOps. This is not used by development team. This is only for DevOps. Here we wrote few scripts. Let me go one by one. Cluster deploy.sh. We wrote this script. This is to deploy all applications into different servers. You will have all the logic in this file. This is just for deployments. Data refresh. Sometimes we need to refresh stage and production, stage and dev databases from production. So for that we will use this script. Download SaferWatch. This one, we are getting all our carriers data from some third-party partner. He will upload the latest files in FTP server. So we wrote the script to download those latest files from FTP server and to execute a job to store those files into our database. We will use this script. Git patch. This is used by our engineering team. This is to copy any commits to the release branch. We will use this one. This is development related. This one, move bookings. So in stage environment, we have a demo account. In stage and dev, we will not have proper data. So we are using this script to copy few loads from production to stage into demo account. So our sales team will use that demo account to give demos to our customers. This one, this script split and run job, refresh carrier data job and downloader SaferWatch, they should execute together. The downloader SaferWatch.sh, it will download the files from SFTP, and this job, the files downloaded from SFTP, they are very huge files. We will have millions of records. So executing all the data at the same time, it's difficult. So we are splitting the big file into small chunks, small files, and we are executing this Java job by passing each small file as an input. So you have any questions on this?
No, I need to review.
Okay. Next important thing is database scripts. Database DB cleanup script. We used it very long time back. I think it is not used anymore. I think we can ignore this. The next one is data scrubbing. So this one is used by our data refresh script. When we copy production database into stage and dev environments, we need to scrub some customer data. We should not directly copy customer emails, phone numbers, etc. So we will use this to scrub the customer data. Yeah, I think these are the main repositories. I think QA, I think we are not using it anymore. This repository is not used. I'm not sure about this NetApp Salt Master. I need to check with Moro. And these are our application repositories and dependency repositories.
I know QA repository had those QA scripts, right?
We moved them to
Oh yeah.
web apps. So you can take a look at them. Any questions so far?
No.
Okay. For now, I think we can stop here. You can take a look at them.
Yeah.
We can discuss on Monday or Tuesday.
Okay. So we had next meeting on next Monday morning.
Monday morning, your time is Sunday evening for us. I will see. I'm not. I will let you know. If you don't see any message from me, let's have a call on Tuesday morning your time.
Okay.
So I think to go through all this configuration, you need some time. It will take some time.
Yes, so I need time to review this weekend.
Yeah. Okay.
And I will
So
have to list out the question and put right in the there of KT, and that you can review.
yeah, if you have it here, I think it will be more clear. We will not miss. We will answer everything.
Okay.
So on Tuesday, let's review the Sumo Logic, how the logs are pushed to Sumo Logic server, and in Sumo Logic we have different reports, how those reports will work, and how I mean what type of files we are log files we are fetching from each server. We can review that.
Okay, Rama.
Yeah. Let me know if you have any questions.
No, thanks, Rama.
Yeah. Thank you, Doug. Have a good weekend.
Have a nice
Thank you.
weekend.
Bye.
Bye, Gaurav.
Bye.
Bye.